Education is a funny industry. There are many twists and turns at each level of schooling, from kindergarten to doctorate education. From Nest of Wings works to keep up to date with as many of those twists and turns as we can, but at the speed things change, we have difficulty keeping up. This will be a review of some of the more interesting notes we have found of late. Hi, I'm Margaret Meek, and this is Bumps in Your Flight, Admissions Edition. In a recent video, we spoke to viewers about making mistakes. Whenever you think you're the only one, you think you are alone in messing up, let me tell you this story. Reports based on statistics from the National Student Clearinghouse Research Center, released in October, stated that new student enrollment decreased by 5% in the fall of 2024. That means a lot of students not going to college. Recently, the center realized that its calculations were wrong. They had designated some students as dual-enrolled high school students rather than incoming college students. The center is reworking its numbers and will release its new report later this month. However, it does note that enrollment actually went up. This makes a big difference in financial aid projections for all college students, especially those in the first-year class. See, you haven't made a mistake that gets you on the front page of the Washington Post, so you are doing just fine. You have heard a great deal about the impact of legacy admissions, giving special preference to prospective students whose family members graduated from that college. The legacy phenomenon is primarily a tool of private universities. It is widely believed that legacy admission negatively impacts the diversification of this college's student population. At this time, legislation is working its way through some state legislatures to remove legacy admission advantages. Connecticut, California, and Colorado all have some form of legislation moving forward, though the Colorado bill only outlaws legacy admission preferences in state schools, not private colleges. The good news is that individual colleges have been moving away from legacy admissions, with more than 70 schools removing the option from their admissions process over the past few years. So why is this important to you? It is a healthy reminder that no school publicly states that the only way to be granted admission is through the competitive application process. There are legacy admissions, spots held for the children of donors, and more loopholes that you would find it hard, if not impossible, to find the college promoting. All kinds of special privileges exist. Just remember, if a college, especially a highly competitive college, utilizes legacy admissions, the chances are strong there are other backdoor acceptance practices being utilized as well. One trend that is developing right now is in the area of campus visits. There seems to be a growing trend for students not to visit a campus unless they have been accepted. In other words, students are applying to many colleges without walking the campus. Is this a bad thing? Not necessarily, but there are a few caveats. If students have the money to pay for the application fee for multiple colleges and don't have to narrow their application list before filing applications, waiting has some advantages. Visiting multiple campuses gets expensive. The cost of traveling to each campus can be prohibitive. Making an application decision about college can put tremendous pressure on an in-person visit. What if the college representative is having a bad day, or the student is? Could the money spent on travel be better spent on things like tuition? Schools are starting to notice that they are not seeing a great return on the investment for demonstrated interest. While being known to campus admissions officials is always a good idea, meeting them on campus is not a have-to chore. The amount of online information has grown exponentially. This includes from the college itself and social media postings by current students and campus offices. Each student needs to decide whether or not they will be comfortable on each campus of the schools to which they will apply. Much of the comfort level measurement can be done from a distance as long as the research is done. But this means that each student and their family members need to be honest about their needs. finances, interests, and abilities. The research can target affordable housing, interesting student organizations that will help build the student's future, campus-based support offices, and much more. We are about to present information about tuition changes. But before we do, we need to remind all of you that very few students pay the sticker price to attend college, primarily four-year schools. Earn strong grades, score well on your testing, invest time in your applications, fill out all financial aid information available, and file your FAFSA. Do all of that, and college prices will be somewhat reduced. Now, back to tuition. We need to split this discussion. First, let's talk about private schools. According to the College Board, over the past few years, the rate of tuition increases has slowed. The growth rate has decreased to about 4% over the past decade. Note that over the two prior decades, tuition at private level colleges went up by 68%. The other portion of this discussion concerns in-state public universities. When adjusted for inflation, the cost of in-state public schools has been down 4% over the last decade. At the same time, grants and financial aid have decreased tuition costs by more than 40%. See, not paying the sticker price makes a difference. It's a mistake to decide whether you can afford a particular school before you do the work to find financial aid. Please also note that this tuition discussion does not include the cost of fees, room and board, or education supplies. The reduced cost and greater effort to find financial aid have reduced the average college debt upon graduation to $27,000. So while there is a good deal of happenings in admissions, we also know that the collegiate and high school sports arenas are changing rapidly, standardized testing alterations occur regularly, and the changes to options of major areas of study continue to move forward. For example, some information has been released letting people know they can get a bachelor's degree in social media influencing or content creation. Two recently advertised programs, one in Ireland and one at the University of Texas, San Antonio, are excellent reminders that students should keep their options open on majors. The possibilities change frequently. We will continue to work to stay up to date on all the happenings in education. Please make sure to ask any questions that come to mind or offer us topics you would like to have covered by listing them in the comments below this video. Subscribe to learn about future NEST videos.